been an absolute blast, and everything of making the connections with you guys over the time. Sorry, I had a little technical thing on my end, but no, you guys, thanks for being a part of the Dude Network and its inaugural season and bringing a lot of good basketball content. You guys all had really good years. Coach Williams, are you there with us? I think you are, right?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, baby.
There we go.
First year doing prep school ball down at Fork Union Military Prep. How was the learning curve? How was everything?
Well, no prep, just Fork Union Military Academy, Tony. It was great. No, we do play prep basketball. How's the connection? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Oh, okay. It was good, great first year. I mean, beyond expectations here at Fork Union. For me personally, having late August.
There he is. You're good.
Having get the job late August and here at Fork Union, and then basically inheriting the team. Great bunch of hardworking guys, talented group. Fortunately, they played very well and deserve all the credit. I really didn't do anything. I just got here. I haven't recruited my first guy yet. So, but good bunch of guys. They really exceeded my expectations, won 27 games, went to the Sweet 16 and lost in the Sweet 16, by the way, Tony. So I don't know if that's the reason I'm on here tonight to do the Sweet 16 show. But we lost this year in the Sweet 16, but it was a great season.
How many wins, though, total for the cadets this year?
27.
Woo! Let's go. Big time. That's
Nice.
how we do.
Yeah, it was a good season. Good, and guys really bought in, and it was an easy situation because the guy that recruited them stepped down in the summer, and then all of a sudden I'm here, and some old guy coming in, former college coach, and I was a little demanding from what they're used to. You got to remember, a lot of these kids haven't been coached in 2 years because of the pandemic, and so a lot of it was new and major learning curve for the players, for myself, and fortunately, I had a great season. Tremendous experience for me.
You guys knocked off some really, really good squads along the way. I know we were all watching and even talking about you, but all in a good way, not compared to normally how you're probably used to being talked about. So it's all good stuff.
Especially with the other guests that you have on here.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I plead the fifth. So, speaking of good seasons, I know the second half of one was really special for Coach French up there. Your first year, long time at one spot, and now you're at a new spot, and you found a great home, it seems, over at Oakland City, home of the Mighty Oaks. Hell of a second half of the year. I know you inherited, kind of the same as Coach Williams. You kind of inherited the program, and you kind of had to put your own spin on it throughout the year. And it seems like you guys kind of got things pointed in the second half.
Yeah, we did. We started off, kind of a rocky start, but our schedule wasn't conducive of building a program, in the first year and that kind of thing. But we made some adjustments and finished off the second half of the year going 11-5 in regular season and finished 10-8 in the league and third in our division, and a lot of positives to end the season on and qualify for postseason play, and really happy with the direction of the program. And the big thing is there's a commitment from the administration all the way down to building a winning program here, and we've got a lot of things going on, and a lot of changes. We renovated the locker rooms. We're getting a new floor. We're currently in the middle of that right now, and just exciting. It's great to be a Mighty Oak, and things are moving forward, and we're looking forward to what comes in the second year here.
I tell you what, I barbecued a lot of wood. Nothing burns better and cleaner and hotter and stronger than the oak. I'm telling you right now. There we go. Speaking of oak trees, this guy's living around a few, and that's Jeff Williamson out at Garden City in Kansas. Jeff, made the switch from Oklahoma ball to Kansas ball. Some would say the home of basketball. So I'm sure a lot of legacy out there. Basketball is the sport, if I'm not mistaken. And, new school. Again, this kind of weird how this is now working out. We got three guys that all started new programs this year. So, Jeff, hey, talk about your first season up at Garden City. Really good opportunity for you, one of the largest schools, I believe the fourth or fifth largest school in all of Kansas. So what's it like working with, maybe a bigger budget, bigger group of pool of guys to work with? You got more players you're in charge of now. How was the adjustment for you in that?
Well, I mean, again, it's a common theme, with Coach Williams and Coach French about, when you're a new coach coming into a new program, just trying to learn all the new players and, again, working with new people and a new place and just trying to get everything in tune and trying to get everybody on the same page as far as learning expectations and protocols and about how we operate and how we do things. And again, this place, they've been fantastic this year. About the same thing as the other two guys on here with us. Administration, they want to win. They support athletics. The town, everybody that lives here, that they support athletics in general, but especially basketball. Again, we had a successful season. We reached our goals that we wanted to reach, and for the building blocks for next year. And we're excited. A lot of people are excited, and again, it was successes, a lot of successes behind the scenes as far as building the things we need to do. Coach French touched upon that about renovating facilities, locker rooms, just doing the things a lot of people don't see. But overall, it was a really good year, and I'm excited to get built on for the summer and preseason for the fall.
And I'm excited you cut your hair, especially for this show tonight, too, by the way.
Hey, only for you three guys would I do that. And I had my first haircut literally 2 hours ago for the first time since November. Only for you three guys.
It looked like it was since Nam, man.
You got for the season, Jeff?
What is it?
Didn't have a mullet for the season?
Mullet.
No, I'm able to style it a little bit better, but I got it cut the week of Thanksgiving, and I literally just got it cut 2 hours ago for the first time. So
I think it was like a reverse mullet.
You guys should consider yourself lucky. I mean, I styled it and everything. I got some gel in it. I mean, I'm looking pretty good.
Well, Jeff has a fan, and that's from Alyssa Lane. I love the haircut. Make sure you tell him that. So now Jeff's hitting on my wife already.
Thank you, Alyssa.
See that coming. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah. So, hey, we're here for the NCAA tournament. I know you guys are, Jeff, you're wrapping up your season. Coach French, Coach Williams, you guys have been in recruiting. It's hot and heavy. It's time to find next year's squad. You got guys coming out. You need guys coming in. But did Coach Williams, while we got you in a good connection down there, it seems, did you get to watch any of the first two rounds of the tournament?
Oh, for sure. I watched as many games as I could. And one day I was at the Charleston Civic Center recruiting, so I missed some of the games that evening. But any time I was near a TV, I was watching the games. And great. First two rounds are always the best of the tournament because that's where you get the upsets and you see the highs and lows of the tournament. The lows of when seasons quickly end in defeat and the jubilation of moving on to the next round, especially for moving on that most of America is probably never heard of. And but basketball people have. It's tremendous. I've always loved tournament. Looking forward to the Sweet 16. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, the Sweet 16. And we're going to get into that Sweet 16. Coach French, did you take a break from your busy schedule to catch a little bit of action here? Maybe look at potential transfer portal people.
We're looking at a lot of high school kids right now. There's a lot of talent in Southern Indiana where we're at. We're recruiting high school kids. And funny story is, I got a text, during the first round, and I had somebody text me and said, "What did you think about that shot selection coming out of the timeout?" Well, I'm watching a semi-state game. It was in overtime, and I'm thinking he's talking about that. And I'm like, "Are you here?" And they were talking about the North Carolina and Baylor game. So I didn't get to see the North Carolina Baylor game, but I was at a semi-state game that went in overtime, watching one of our recruits play and everything. So that was kind of interesting. And then I had to tell them, I'm at a high school game. I don't think you're watching the same game I am. But it's been really good. I watched as many games as I can, just like Bob was talking about. And one of the things he just mentioned was, having gone through this, there's an abrupt end to all these guys' season when they finally lose a game, and it's abrupt. You've been with these guys all year, working, lifting weights, conditioning, and all that kind of stuff, and then when you lose this game, it's abrupt, and your season is over. And for a lot of guys, this has been their focus, and coaches and players, and it becomes devastating when that end comes.
Yeah, and there's been some really sad endings, as you said. I tell you what, that speaking of that UNC Baylor game, you didn't miss much. You missed two teams that really didn't want to win. Jeff, did you watch that game? Coach Williamson, did you watch the UNC Baylor end there?
Yes. Yes.
And I can't remember which day that was, but I didn't even start practice this year because we were still playing. We were still playing after the season on Sunday down.
The internet in Virginia is starting to go down.
It's bad here on the farms in Virginia. Our internet is up and down, and I just bought the highest you can buy too.
Man, I think you bought that from the pawn shop. Hey, it's all good though. We'd rather have a glitchy you than none of you. I can tell. I think I can speak for all four of us, the other three of us here in this conversation. But Coach Williamson, did you get to see the end to that UNC Baylor game there?
Yes. Wow. I mean, just NCAA tournament. I mean, every March. I mean, there's always somebody that has a huge lead, and the next thing you know, they go scoreless for so many minutes, and everybody makes a run, and there's an ejection and elbow to the face and chaos and instant replays. I mean, it was just you had everything, and it was a good game. But like you said, whenever you get to the end of the season, you don't know what's going to happen, and teams come to abrupt end. And I don't think anybody in Waco, Texas, thought that Baylor would exit their season this early. And but hats off to North Carolina. They played a great game.
It really did. The ride keeps rolling ever since that big win over Duke there toward the end at Krzyzewski Center. A big win like that will give anybody confidence to beat anybody. Samario Clancy, friend of the show. I hope Night Train brings up his brackets because he is in last place. Don't let him fool you if he tells you different. However, he's failing to tell you that I have 600 more points available than anybody else in the brackets. So we won't talk about that, though, will we, Samario? But anyways, on to the Sweet 16. First, out of the West, the top seed, number 1 overall, Gonzaga Bulldogs, after knocking off Georgia State 93-72 and Memphis 82-78 in what was a really tough game, will be taking on Arkansas, a.k.a. Arkansas, who beat New Mexico State in that second round, and a absolute floor slapper, 53-48, Gonzaga versus Arkansas. And then also you got the number 1 defense in the country, Texas Tech, taking on Coach K and the glorious final ride that is getting shoved down our throats every waking second of our existence. And I never liked him to begin with, so now I definitely don't like him, and I hope Texas Tech wins by 30. So anyway, guys, who we got in the West, arguably the toughest bracket in the tournament?
Well, I've got Gonzaga moving on, but I've got Gonzaga and Texas Tech, probably moving on. But that Gonzaga Arkansas game is going to be good. The one thing about Gonzaga is they've got bigs. They got 2 of the best bigs that run the floor in the country. And having those bigs, they do a lot of high-low action that a lot of teams don't see now because most teams only play 1 big now. They don't play 2 together. But Arkansas, if they shoot it well, they always defend. Musselman's gone playing defense. That'll be a good game. It'll be better than what people think. But I've got Gonzaga and Texas Tech moving on. In fact, I didn't even have Duke making it this far. I thought Michigan State would upset them. But I think Texas Tech is unique just because of their style of defense. They're a little bit different. They're back to the old school. If they get the ball on the side, they're going to cut the court in half and defend one side of the floor and try to deny the ball reversal and that kind of thing. But, I think that's going to be I think it'll be 2 really good games.
All right. Yeah, I at this point, I don't think there's many games on this slate that look like they're going to be blowouts. And at this point, the guys that you think are going to get blown out, you thought they were going to get blown out the first 2 rounds, So it's a wild situation. We'll go around the horn here. Coach Williamson, Mr. Garden City up there, out of this West here, what are we looking like? Let's change the view up here a little bit.
Well, I think I'm a big Arkansas fan, but to be honest with you, I think the Must Bus is about 10,000 miles past due for oil change, and it's going to break down and it's over. Drew Timme, I think he's one of the best players in the country. Gonzaga's going to win. And then I think that the farewell tour is going to continue. It's going to be Duke and Gonzaga in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four. I just think Duke is they're tuned in right now. They're playing real well, and if they can just make shots, I think that Krzyzewski is going to come down to it. It's going to be Few and Krzyzewski in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four.
Now, let's be honest. You like Gonzaga and Timme because of the mustache.
You're exactly right. You are exactly right. That's why I picked him. Because he's got power stash. I mean,
I was going to say, man, that thing's got mythical powers that can ward off demons, man.
Never mind his great footwork and hands, the mustache and the headbands where it's at.
Let's not worry about the mechanics that makes a Gonzaga Bulldog a Gonzaga Bulldog. It's all in the mustache. So, Coach Williams, West here, we got some good matchups here. Who we got?
Well, I agree. I like the stash. I like Timme. Reminds me, he's kind of an old school Leitner type player, but I got the Zags moving on over Arkansas, and I like
Texas Tech.
I would like to see Coach K go to the Final Four. That'd be a great story, but I think his last game could be tomorrow against Texas Tech. Their defense is so good, and I haven't studied Duke or anything, but I'm thinking that they're probably young again. They've been young every year for several years now. And maybe they're not quite as young this year. That might be what gets them over the hump and gets to the Final Four. But I'd like to see Duke win, but I think Texas Tech is too much, and their league was too good this year. And I got Gonzaga beating Texas Tech and going to the Final Four.
I'm going to go with Gonzaga. They're my pick. It has not changed. I think they're the deepest team. And like you said, the 2-footers that you got to guard at all different parts of the floor has got to be a coach's absolute worst nightmare. I wouldn't know because I just drink beer at games. I don't coach games. You guys would know that one. But no, I have Texas Tech as well. I think Duke's going to have a hard time going against a really solid defense, being a young team, like you said, Coach. And I think Duke has handled good defensive teams not very well this year. They've had some pretty bad losses at home, including like the UNC one. So, and I just don't want Coach. I want the ride over with. So Duke loses by 30. So on to the next one here. We're going to go over to the East Conference as we have North Carolina against UCLA, the 8 seed versus the 4 seed. And then we got the 15 seed St. Peter's Peacocks against the Purdue Boilermakers. All right, Coach Williams, again, we'll start with you on this one. You got last pick, so we'll let you break this one down here first. And honestly, your internet connection's solid, so let's run with it.
Well, you're looking at UCLA bracket? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we're looking at North Carolina, UCLA, and the Philadelphia region.
Okay, UCLA and North Carolina, what a matchup. I mean, 2 blue bloods going at it. Just to see the names on the front of the jerseys is so exciting for me in that game. But I got UCLA winning that, and I got Purdue beating St. Peter's. Cinderella run could be coming to an end for St. Peter's. I believe it will. And Purdue and UCLA, that's 2 heavyweights. Purdue, has been knocking on the door for years. I think it's their time to break through. They got one of the best players in the country, and they got one of the best bigs in the country. Also, an extremely well coached Matt Painter does a great job. I got Purdue going to the Final Four.
All right, yeah, he went ahead all to it there. All right, Coach French, you're next. East region.
This is Bob was talking about the blue bloods and everything, and then you got St. Peter's thrown in there and that kind of thing. But the UCLA North Carolina game, that's going to be a bloodbath. That's going to be a good game, and it's all going to come down to if UCLA's healthy or not. With the injury that they had in the last game, if the kid can come back from the sprained ankle and all that. But I've got UCLA probably moving on. And then you got Purdue and St. Peter's, and I think Purdue is going to, keep rolling. Purdue plays really well right now. I've got to watch them a lot, being out here in Indiana and that kind of thing. I really respect how they play, and I think Purdue will move on. And I got Purdue in the Final Four.
All right, Coach Williamson.
I'm going a little opposite here. If somebody has a record button, they should probably record this.
Oh, it's recorded. Don't worry. It goes straight to YouTube, anybody watching. So if this goes bad, remember, you can watch this on the Dude Network on YouTube.com. Go ahead.
I will never say this again because I always grew up a Duke fan, but I believe North Carolina, I think they're playing really well. And they were able to, anybody that could beat Baylor, and even though that Baylor had a great run back and, they made it a great game, but Baylor's one of the best teams in the country. I think North Carolina, though, is playing really well, and their confidence is all-time high right now. And my hat's off to Hubert Davis. I think he's done a terrific job, especially the second half of the year there. I got North Carolina upsetting UCLA. And then I think Bob said it the best. Cinderella, school strike midnight. It's over for St. Peter's. There's no chance at all. Purdue's just too big, too physical, too good. And Shaheen Holloway will be at Seton Hall press conference on Monday, probably. So
maybe Saturday, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Saturday.
He's going to be wearing a shirt that looks a lot like Coach Williams. It's going to be similar color.
Yeah, exactly. But I got Purdue and North Carolina in the Elite Eight.
It's going to be interesting on the St. Peter's because they're just so well sounding. Just so well methodical, and they just play really good ball. You can tell it's a team that's really gelled and bonded and actually probably been together for a while, minus a couple of the guys. I don't see it happening, but why not? But I do think it's how the times have changed. As you normally would think UNC UCLA is your national championship or your Final Four matchup, but here they are meeting in the Sweet 16 as an 8 and 4 seed. So I think that's really a sign of the times and the competition level and how it's really balanced out. And then on that same note, goes to show you that there is a shrinking gap, it seems. Can we all agree on that? These 15 seeds are playing some really, really, really killer ball. And, and it just get more consistent for a reason. There's just some really good players out there. And you guys see them, with the levels that you coach at as well. There's just more talent out there than what there used to be because just more a time to get better. But with that being said, I'm going to go with, if my opinion does matter at all, I'm going to go with UNC. I'm always going to take the ACC or the Pac-12 in the tournament. I want to go Purdue, and I agree. I think they've had their opportunity. They paid their dues. Got a lot of players back from last year's team, even though they lost Garza. They still, have some really good stuff going for them. So I'm going with Purdue. Next, let's go over to the South, San Antonio region. We got Zona with a banged up Kerr, but we also have them taking on Houston, the 5 seed. Zona beat Wright State by 17 and then beat TCU in that overtime thriller. So Arizona's also got an extra overtime under their belts in this tournament as well, which down the stretch is critical, I'm sure. Then you got Houston, who beat UAB, and also then upset Illinois. Beat them pretty handily, 68-53, and what was a disappointing second round for the Big Ten Conference in general, except for this other team, Michigan, who keeps the rally around Phil Martelli and Juan Howard after the unfortunate incidents that happened at the end of the season as they take on Villanova, with Jay Wright with a couple championships under his belt in the last 5 years. Pretty loaded South region matchup here as well. So, Coach Williamson, your turn to start this one off.
Houston-Arizona game, the game of two cats. I think the Cougars are going to put the Wildcats to sleep. I think that just Houston's played really well. And,
we're all night. We leave it to him. We were actually starting to sound like really serious about this.
I had to break that up.
Yeah.
But no, I just think they played really well. And Arizona got the benefit of the no call, the TCU game. I just think that Houston just plays really well. They play hard. I just love watching Houston play, how they play. But I got Houston winning by double digits over Arizona. And then
double
yeah.
digits.
And then I have Michigan. I have Michigan beating Villanova. I think that as long as Hunter Dickinson comes to play and scores, rebounds, and you just got – I mean, I have here that Villanova, they're like 83% from the free throw line. They're leading the country in free throw percentage, and they shoot the ball really well, and they just have to limit their second chances, and they just have to guard. But I got Michigan and Houston in the Elite Eight.
All right. Coach Williams, you're next. And
well, first I wanted to say hi to Caroline McKelvey. She just said hello on here. One of our former students at West Virginia Tech, and now she's a teacher at West Virginia Tech. So,
hey, sweet.
Great to hear from
you guys with me. Bye. Wow. Thanks, guys.
You're on your own on that one.
Yeah, clearly. You made that painfully obvious. Thank you.
We have reputations to uphold.
I don't.
We know that.
Yeah. That's why you're on here. It's out of pity. Yeah, not out of necessity. I appreciate it.
Hey, Jeff Williamson doesn't always say the right things, but he said the right thing this time when he picked Houston. And I'm going with Houston over Arizona. Experience, unbelievable defense, experienced coach versus a first-time head coach. I'm going to go with Houston, just a gut feeling. Could go either way. Villanova, over Michigan. Michigan, I have no idea how they got into this tournament. I mean, it's ridiculous to me that they got in this at 17-14, and then they win 2 games and make the committee look like geniuses. But anyways, that's just me talking. Okay. Anyways, hopefully their run ends and Villanova's moves on. But I like Houston. Villanova, that's kind of a toss up, but I got Houston moving on to the Final Four.
All right, Coach French, what do you got there, man? A couple good takes.
First off, you gotta love Jeff Williamson. He's the comedic relief on here, but he comes with some hard stats. He knows what some teams are shooting their line and stuff. So
somebody was on ESPN.com this morning. That's for sure.
Don't let all the jokes fool you. He's got a basketball mind now. He knows.
He does.
Well, plus he's full-time high school coach. I mean, how many of those do you see out there? He probably doesn't even teach. He's just full-time basketball.
He's probably got like 4 weight classes, and then that's about it. And then he's
probably teaches people like how to walk. Probably teaches people how to walk and stuff.
I do. I think Arizona, Houston might be one of the best games of the tournament. It's a matchup of 2 teams that are playing really well. Houston was kind of my dark horse the whole time, but I've got Arizona winning that game, and it kind of goes against the other 2 guys. But I got Arizona winning, and that might be a stretch if Kerr's still hurt and can't hit shots and that kind of thing. But the other game's interesting to me because you got Villanova and Michigan, who's come out of nowhere, and then Villanova, who's kind of been overlooked, but it's the same Villanova. They've got championship DNA. I've got a lot of respect for what they do there. Coach Wright, he's one of the best coaches in the country. But I've got Villanova moving on, and then I've got Arizona getting to the Final Four. In fact, I picked Arizona to win it on my bracket and everything. But I think Villanova will take care of business. I think their guards have a lot of experience, and they'll handle Michigan, and then Arizona. Like I said, I got them beating Villanova, moving on.
I was with Arizona until Kelvin Sampson ripped his shirt off like a madman and danced about half naked in the locker room with his guys. And I'm like, these guys are going to win the whole national championship.
Right.
But no, I honestly don't know much about the Houston team. I know the Kerr guy's pretty banged up for Arizona. If he's not healthy, that's going to be a really hard thing to do in a Sweet 16 to overcome without one of your best guys when you're going up against someone gunning for you every single night, and especially in this here, especially being the top seed. Arizona's the number 1 seed. Everybody's they're bringing your best against the 1. But I'm also going to go with definitely Nova. The day you see me pick anything from the state up north of the great state of Ohio, check my pulse. I hope that they lose by at least 55.5. I hope they give their team a half point just to throw it on there. But no, I think the Michigan ride has come to an end. I think that they've had their hot streak. They've rallied around the coach. They proved that they were supposed to be there. I know that they're playing very hard for Phil Martelli with what he did for that squad going down the stretch. But I think at some point effort catches up with talent, or talent catches up with effort, how you want to do it. So I think Nova with Jay Wright and his pedigree and expectations that the program probably has and the culture they have, going with Nova. And then let's go with Zona all the way. Not Zona. I have Nova going all the way. Nova, not Zona. Lastly, we got the 1 seed, Kansas, taking on Providence in the Midwest bracket out of Chicago. Kansas beating Texas Southern and then beating Creighton in what was a really good game there, 79-72. And then Providence knocked off South Dakota State, the old Jackrabbits, home of Adam Vinatieri. And then they beat off Richmond, the Spiders. The Providence Friars are now playing Kansas. And then Iowa State knocked off LSU and then knocked off Wisconsin, and they'll be taking on the Miami Hurricanes, who upset one of the tournament favorites, Auburn, 79-61 in USC in the opening round. So I don't really know who to go for. Coach French, you kick this one off here.
I think Kansas Providence, that's another one. That's that could be even a Final Four matchup like, we talked about Arizona and Houston. I think that's a good matchup. I think Providence is playing well. They defend really, really well. They've got one of my favorite assistant coaches in the country, Jeff Battle, who's got West Virginia ties. He played at Marshall University, was a point guard there, and phenomenal coach. He's an assistant there with Providence. But I got Kansas moving on, and that kind of is a toss-up game, but I got Kansas moving on. And then in the other game, the two sleepers, Iowa State and Miami, I think the ACC is better than what everybody thought they were. Everybody at the beginning of the year were talking about, they were down and all that kind of stuff. But the ACC, the teams have kind of risen. They've rose to the challenge here in the postseason play. So I'm going to go with Miami over Iowa State, and then Kansas moving on.
All right. All right, Coach Williamson.
Well, in the Kansas-Providence matchup, I personally think Ed Cooley's National Coach of the Year. I think that the Friars have done a fantastic job. He gets probably more out of his kids than almost anybody in the country. I mean, just how they play, their effort level, the stuff that he runs on offense is just amazing, some of the stuff that they run. I'm a big Ed Cooley fan. I'm a big Providence fan. They have 5 guys averaging at least 10 points per game or more. I think they beat Kansas. I think they beat them to move on to the Elite Eight. And then the other game, Iowa State, Miami, in the Windy City. And there's going to be some wind, but it's not going to be a hurricane. We have the Cyclones beating the Hurricanes. And then the Friars are going to the Final Four. They're going to beat Iowa State. And that's how I see it. You can mark it down now.
Book it.
Are you like Charles Barkley? Is that a guarantee?
I guarantee.
Was that Bert Kreischer? 100%. 100%. Hey, we knew he was going to come in with some kind of pun on words that was just really bad, and he exceeded my expectations. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We all know where Jeff Williamson hails from, correct?
I don't know if we should talk about it because he might lose some
Logan.
credibility.
I mean, he's Logan area. He's a Logan area high school legend down there.
GLA, Greater Logan area. Come on.
And he's a legend in the coal fields. And now he's a Midwestern guy. That's why he picked Iowa State. He's a Midwestern guy transplanted from the coal fields of West Virginia. But I hate to upset Jeff, but I'm going to go with Kansas over Providence. And I haven't seen Kansas play a ton this year, but just going with Kansas, and I'll go with how about what are the seeds, Tony? Miami and Iowa State. What are the seeds?
Iowa State's 11 and Miami is 10. This is the only
11 and 10
double-digit matchup in the 2 double-digit matchups in the Sweet 16. There's one every year, and that's the one this year.
And it's still rare, and it's unbelievable. Nobody would pick these two teams to be in this, get this far. But Miami really had a great first half of the season and very well coached, a good team, and they've done well since Larinaga's been there. I'm going to go with Miami, and then I'll say Kansas is too much for Miami, and Kansas will go to the Final Four.
I'm going Iowa State over Miami. Iowa State just seems to be a pretty sound team, and Big 12 is pretty tough conference, and they're battle tested. And there's nothing that they haven't seen against Miami. But then again, the ACC, as we're talking about, is performing very well. And then, as you said, Coach Williams, no one would have expected that. And here's one other guy that did not either, and that was Samario Clancy. So, yeah, he didn't as well. But the other one, I'm going Providence. I'm going Providence over Kansas. Kansas, for some reason, under Coach Self, just can't consistently get much farther than the Sweet 16, it seems. And we all agree here that Providence does very well. His players probably, I think Coach Self, like any of the other schools, they get a lot of one-and-done guys, and it's hard to build a lot of chemistry. And when it gets down to Sweet 16, I go with experience, and I'm going with Providence. And I'm going to take Providence actually to the Final Four. Let's go. Providence back in the Final Four. And that's why I don't coach ball. I just talk about it because that was probably very wrong.
Well, I have to.
That was spot on. Spot on.
On all your all's brackets that you did pick, how many Sweet 16 teams do you have right?
Please hold. How many do you? You see, like you're asking that question like you already know the answer.
I was doing pretty well until I got the Sunday afternoon kind of ruined my bracket. I've got 10. I got 10 of the 16.
10 of the 16. I have one. I nailed the West 100%. 4 for 4. 3 of 4 in East. No, excuse me. That's wrong.
I have 9. That's what I got.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just using my brain power.
I had 10.
There you go.
That's even better. I never did a bracket. I was just too busy to do one. We were still traveling when they came out. I never got around to it. So
with a brain like yours, easily would have been 14.
I wanted to wait till the Sweet 16.
Bob's got to be careful because he's got some of these coaches that might be recruiting some of his kids, so he can't. He's rolling the dice here, picking some of these guys.
I don't know about that, but
so who do we got winning it all? Who's your picks?
I've got Arizona.
Okay, why? Still with Kerr? You just banking on Kerr to come back, or you think they're so much better than that?
First time I filled it out, and it just went. That's the way it played out, and I had Arizona and Gonzaga in the final, and I just went with Arizona. I like both those teams. There's a lot of teams left that I like, and there's a lot of different styles of play. There's some defensive-oriented teams, and I just think Arizona can guard, and they can also score it when they're playing well, and they got enough size. Across the board, they might be the biggest team, size-wise, starters 1 through 5.
Coach Williams?
I've got Purdue over Gonzaga in one semifinal, and Kansas over Houston in the other, and I don't know. I'm going to go Purdue.
Ooh. Hey, why not? That'd be a mass. Hey, that would be a massive for the Big Ten because they did not show out that second round. So Purdue and Michigan are kind of carrying the torch, in this one there. But Purdue can easily do it. All right, Coach Williamson, I saw you scribble it out there. I know you changed your answer. What'd you change it to?
No, I didn't change my answer from the beginning of the season, actually. The farewell tour is going to end in New Orleans. The Duke Blue Devils are going to cut down the nets.
Wow.
You just hurt Tony. You killed him.
Duke fan.
Oh, we lost Jeff. Come on, man. What a lame take. That's a lame duck take.
Hey, I just think they're playing really well, and I just think it's destiny. I think he's going to go out on top and wave at everybody and laugh on his way out the door while everybody hates on him.
I'm taking Gonzaga. I mean, I just think that the Timmy guy, I just think he's very skilled, and he's the kind of guy that's got the skill set to put a game on his back, and there's not a lot of guys that can guard him with the miss. And I think Gonzaga's got more mismatches. The Holmgren guy having two athletic footers on the floor. It's going to be a tough team to beat out. You know what? They got like three NBA guys on that team. Can we agree on that? And I don't think anybody really does. And they're well coached. Mark Few's one of the best in the business. And I just think Few, it's finally his time to get the ring. I think he's been so close, so many years. I know he had a rough start to the year, but I think that this team's going to rally around him and bring it the whole way back. So so on real quick here, I guess, we got through that a lot quicker than I expected, believe it or not. Look at us having a well-structured show. Hey guys, look at us. Look at us.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys.
We know
I was going to suggest we had to do a Final Four show, but since Williamson offended you, I don't know.
Well, we can have one when Duke loses by 30 on Thursday.
Just blame me. Just blame me. I'll take the blame.
No, we're going to do one, and Jeff's not invited. So, so what's up next for you guys? I know everybody, you guys are in a crazy part of the year. Everyone's like, basketball season just ended. These guys are on vacation. Not the case. But, we got three different levels of basketball here, so this is going to be a really cool conversation. We got Jeff, the high school coach, is entering his first off season at his new school. Coach Williams, you're down at, Fork Union, the academy. So you're dealing with some guys that are like – you're dealing with young adults. But, you also, like we're saying, you got to get guys placed now. And then Coach French, you got your season, you're recruiting right now. So let's go down the room here and let's everybody break down what their off season look like, because I don't think many people know what's going on behind the scenes. So Coach French, let's start up here. You're up here. So go ahead. What's going to happen here for you going forward?
It's really a unique time of the year because you don't have a set schedule. You've been in a routine all year, and now, you're in a little bit of a routine, but it can change daily because of either a recruit visiting on campus, or you need to go see somebody or do a home visit or whatever it may be. But you're re-recruiting your kids that you currently got in your program. Then you're recruiting new kids and setting up visits and trying to get financial aid packages and all that kind of thing. And while you're also, you're getting your current players in the weight room. We started back on the weights when we got back from spring break, and we're back at it. And we want everybody to finish strong in the classroom. And we've got about 5 weeks left of school. We got a couple of weeks that we're still able to do some skill work and that kind of thing. But it all comes down to recruiting and having these guys finish up strong academically, and then work on what they need to work on going into the spring and summer. I've always felt like that, May, June, July are when you work on your individual game. And then when you get back in August on campus, you're back to the team focus. But right now, that's what it's all about is, bringing in new people and into your program and re-recruiting the guys that you've got and start working on your weaknesses and get bigger, stronger, and move forward. And, it's that time of year too. I'll go down to the Final Four. I'll be in New Orleans to go to the convention, the NABC convention, and you get to see a lot of people down there and find out what's going on and find out, who's got a new job and all that kind of stuff, like the three of us all in new positions. But it's an exciting time, but it's different for everybody, and Bob's got probably the toughest job of all of us, dealing what he's got to deal with at the post-grad level. But and I've got a lot of respect for that. But, that's kind of what we're doing here at the small college level and working on scheduling and trying to fill in the holes and address needs that you have on your roster.
Yeah, and that sounds fantastic. And the work don't stop, does it? Never gets easy. Is there like a month out of the year where you can kind of relax?
A little bit in July, maybe. We've got camp in July, but there's a gap there for about a month of mid-July to the beginning of August is kind of your downtime, but you're still trying to get all your kids registered and financial aid packages together and that kind of stuff. But that's the slowest time of the year, is right before you start school in August.
All right. Well, speaking of which, we have breaking news, actually. From Smario Clancy, hoopdirt.com says Jeff Williamson is front runner for an assistant coach position at Duke next season. Heard it through the grapevine.
He's got jokes. What
has he got sources? I mean, we don't know. Confirm or deny. Let's go.
That's great.
Hey, if they're going to pay me, I'll go to Durham. Sure.
Hey, I will change my name to Krzyzewski for that job. I will be mini Coach K. But there's nothing mini about me compared to Coach K, that's for sure. That's good stuff. No, all right. Well, Coach French, that's fantastic. So, all right, now, Coach Williams, now are you in the process of placing a lot of your players, trying to find them new homes after they've had a great season, and are you getting new guys in? What goes on with your world this time of year?
Yeah, it's busy. You're mentioning vacations. I really need a vacation right now. Our season just ended, but unfortunately, it's vacation doesn't pay the bills right now. I've got to get some players in here, and I've got to get players out of here and into places like. That's why I call Coach French, call him up, and try to get him to offer a couple scholarships to some of our guys. Tony, you still got some eligibility, it looks like.
Dude, I got 4. I got 5 to give and 4 years to play, man. Let's go. Hey, man, look at these shoulders. I mean, it's all about footwork. I mean, you just got it.
You set the best double screen in the country.
Hey, I had the best moving screen in the country, Coach. Don't you forget it.
And you might have to go a year of prep school. So
I could use
there's a backlog of players right now because
it's all about footwork. My wife says I got 2 left feet. Can you help me with that, Coach? I heard you're good.
Jay Wright might be able to help you. He's the best with 2 feet. Anyways, I wanted to mention before we get off air, 2 really longtime good friends in Ken and Jeff and West Virginia boys, and we're all in different states now. And Jeff was with me for a minute at West Virginia Tech, and Ken and I became very good friends through the game of basketball, being competitive rivals at Rio Grande and West Virginia Tech, and he's a big reason why I was fortunate and blessed to be able to get the Fork Union job. When basketball people at Fork Union called him first and asked him what he was doing, if he'd be interested in this job. And he said he just got hired at Oakland City, but I know a guy that's looking. So he recommended me. And I told him I'd be forever indebted to that, and really appreciate his friendship. And but here at Fork Union, we're staying busy.
In the mail, I'll pay you for that endorsement there.
I was going to say, I mean, he's normally a pretty calm guy, but I see some blush coming to those cheeks.
I'm going to start a consulting business on the side.
Good, man.
We've talked about that, haven't we?
That's the Dude Network right there. It's work. I'm telling you, that's how the Dude Network works. So people helping people. So yeah, Bob, you got a lot going on then, right? Yeah, I mean, like you said,
we have a couple players going out to a Division I in Texas for a visit this coming weekend.
Hey,
and then some other Division Is. We're talking to some schools, Division Is, 2s, and 3s, NAIs, junior colleges, and about all of our players right now. And it's tough out there right now because I think we talked about this maybe in the fall, Tony. Everybody got a 5th year back. Every college athlete got an extra year if they want to use it. So that created a major backlog, and it's going to probably go anywhere from 5 to 10 years, hurting high school kids. It's amazing, like as we recruit right now for our team for next year, we have to have basically a whole new team every year. And so we'll bring in, anywhere from 12 to 20 new players for next year. And with some amazingly, we're involved with so many good ones. You would think, why hasn't Division I's offered this guy? And so they're looking to go to our level for a year. The link, it's called the link here, basically between high school and college. And it's amazing how many good players are out there. And for Coach French, players that he's able to get involved with just be, and every level is involved with a player higher than they really are. And then the poor players are recruited a level lower than what they actually are. This is a major logjam. But we really miss the recruiting. I'm without an assistant. And then by myself, I've got Bobby Lake and Gary Hines, two older professional legendary guys that teach also help me with recruiting when they can. And but they're not here day to day. Our players leave March 31st. Our current team go home for the year, and then we're working on a new team. Recruits coming in here in the morning, and I'll speak for us.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right on the logjam, Coach. And it's really challenging here to get all the kids the proper opportunities that they've literally spent their whole life's work doing. And it's great that they have a coach like you at Fork Union to help get them there to that next level. And as we can, and again, sorry that we lost you a little bit there, but that was the gist of the message is the backlog and how it's kind of affected the basketball game. And speaking of high school kids and how it affects them, let's go ahead and talk now to our high school coach, Jeff Williamson out in Garden City, Kansas. You're dealing with these kids. You're at a big school, and normally at a big school, you got some, some college level talent players because of just the amount of pool that you got to choose from. So what's going on now with your first season in conclusion? What goes on at the high school level this time of year?
Like you said, Tony, well, we're a big school. Our enrollment is right at 2,000 kids. We're the fifth or sixth largest school in the state of Kansas. And but again, it's the same story, just a different location. There's a backlog, and you do have some college coaches that are going after a lot of high school caliber kids. But then I've talked to several JUCO coaches, NAI coaches, where they're not even looking at high school kids. Like, it's not even a question. They're not going to. They're going after the transfer portal guys and bounce backs from higher levels and stuff like that. So I have a couple guys that are that they've shown some interest in some teams, and some colleges shown interest in them. But again, it's just a waiting game right now because the coaches I've spoken to, they're trying to wait out to see if they can get a Division I transfer or any sort of transfer like that through the portal. So right now, those guys that they're staying in the weight room, getting in the gym, trying to get shots up, trying to stay in shape. And the thing that we do here every morning, 6:45 to 7:45 in the morning, we have 100 boys and girls that are lifting weights and conditioning before school. It's a class actually before school, so it's nothing but athletes and fitness, conditioning, cardio, weightlifting. All that stuff that we do before school. That way you don't really have to worry about that as a coach to move it into your practice. We have it during the day. And if you can't get into that class before school, we have weight classes all throughout the day. So they're doing that. And then also, like I said, we have open gyms going on. And then graduation is in May. And then in the month of June for us, that's when we go to team camp and continue our weightlifting. And we're able to go to some tournaments and some shootouts and stuff like that. And then same with Coach French, really the month of July, we try to step back and let kids be kids, and they could go on vacation with their family and do whatever. And then our first day of school is August 12th, August 13th, I believe, somewhere around there. But again, we're just trying to get back at it and just trying to get everybody to understand that if you want to win in December and January, you have to work during May and June. And if you don't do it during May and June, you're not going to see any results in the winter. And so far, we're doing a really, really great job, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. We got a great group of guys right now, great group of young guys. And, again, I think the future is bright for Garden City basketball.
No, and we're excited for your future there as well. I know you got a really good thing going. We lost Bob again. Damn it, Bob. Hey, good news is his internet held up really damn good during the picks when we needed it the most. So
it did.
Just like him, he comes through in the clutch, just like the squad this year did at Fork Union.
Past his bedtime, he had to go.
Yeah, that was his way at the party of I'm just going to leave. Everyone's going to talk me into staying. I'm just going to leave. Yeah, so But no, hey, seriously, speaking of party, this was a really fun, clean party. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And Samario said, amazing show, you guys. Loved it. Good luck to y'all. Good luck to Samario, too, as well. You know, he's got a lot of things going over there. Check him out at E3 Hoops Analytics. E3 Hoops Analytics, great company there. That he's got going over there for all the analytical side of basketball for all levels of basketball. Go check him out. Samario Clancy, you can just hit him up on there and he'll message you back. He'll when he's free, of course. But hey, Bob, you're back all the way back. So we're getting ready to sign off here. You know, you guys are absolutely awesome. I cannot believe this came together. And, you know, with that being said, you know, you guys have always given me the time and the Dude Network the time and the show. As you can tell, we've got a couple new toys, but, you know, thanks to you guys getting the ball rolling here and making me think that this is something we can actually do. It's evolved. And, you know, we owe you guys a lot of that credit. I thank you guys all for your kindness and taking the time here in your busy schedules to take an hour and just kind of let the hair down a little bit, except for Coach French and I. We don't have that capability. It's a metaphorical term. We all just can't chop it off and have a full luscious head like Jeff Williamson down here out of Garden City. And we lost Bob again. He's gone. And but you guys, Coach French, you know, any final words you'd like to say here before we close this up?
Hopefully, if we get back on next week together, we can have Bob on a good connection. And you know, if it's, you know, it's in the cards and you're kind enough in your heart to have Jeff come back, then we'll do it again.
If he doesn't I'm telling you right now, if Duke makes the Final Four, it ain't happening. Zero chance. Jeff, last thoughts.
No, I appreciate the opportunity, Tony. It's always good getting to connect with Coach French. A lot of people may not know he was he was the guy that gave me my first opportunity at the college basketball business, and I was able to be a graduate assistant for him and learned so much, and not even about basketball, just about life and, you know, in general, just one of my mentors, and just appreciative of him, everything that he's done for me, and he's going to do great things in Oakland City. I have no doubt about that. But again, I'm just grateful for the time. And again, Bob, I know Bob's not on here right now, but he's another one of my former bosses. He gave me an opportunity. Again, I'm in debt to him. But again, I had fun. I enjoyed it. And go Duke, right? Right?
I have the power of the button. Dump button. I told you we had a dump button.
Oh, I love you, man. I love you.
Hey, we got a text from Bob. Thanks for having me on. Sorry for the internet issues, but Bob, it's totally cool, man.
He's out.
You were fantastic. You guys were fantastic as well. And I am up for a show. Let's go ahead and book it next Wednesday. Hopefully same time, 9 p.m. tentatively. We will definitely let you know if something changes in the meantime. But everybody enjoy the Sweet 16 this weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in here to the Dude Network to hear three good brains and one dumb one talk about the great game of basketball from all three levels. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much. And until next week, we'll see ya, dudes and dudettes. Let's go.
Enjoy it.